Hello Sunshine, it's Steph and welcome back to my YouTube channel where each week I share with you guys tips on how to turn your passions into paid gigs as a freelancer. Now, this week I've got a really juicy topic for you that's up for debate and I love some discussion down in the comments here. I'm going to share with you guys my thoughts on the difference between corporate business jobs versus freelancing. My thoughts on the difference between the two, the pros and cons of the two, and also if I would choose differently if I were to go back in time, rewind, and start back over with my career. So today is all about corporate versus freelancing. Let's go ahead and break it down. What are the pros and cons? So this may better help you make your future job decision a little bit easier. Now, if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, be sure you hit that subscribe button below to make sure you get updates each week when a new video comes out so you can stay on top of learning how to become a successful freelancer. I highly appreciate all the subscriptions, you guys. We are almost at 1,000 subscriptions, which is pretty amazing considering I just kind of revamped the channel a couple months ago. So I'm super grateful for you to be here. I also absolutely read every single comment, reply to everyone. So if you have any questions, feedback, want to suggest a topic for next week, just do so below, hit me up, and I'm happy to reply. I'm a lot more active over on Instagram as well, so if you haven't yet followed me there, be sure to do that. I'm actually doing these December, 25 days of Christmas announcements in which I'm sprinkling out different topics that are going to be taught within the Freelancer Academy. This is a course and mentorship that is launching in 2023, and so if you're someone who is interested in becoming a freelancer, but it seems overwhelming, you want some more guidance and mentorship to build your freelancing business from the ground up, then look into the Freelancer Academy. And also make sure you get on the wait list now for all of the best deals and early access to get your spot within the first ever round of TFA. All right, so enough of that. Let's go ahead and get into today's topic: corporate business versus freelancing. There are many pros and cons to each. So let's go ahead and cover those today. These are, of course, just my opinion, but I want to share that and I'm open to discussion in the comments, okay? So let's go ahead. We're going to break down the pros and cons. I'm going to share with you some statistics about freelancing and how it's growing so fast, and we'll just get you thinking a little bit more. So if you're like me, many of us were raised with the traditional route in mind. We were taught to go to high school, then college, and then get a corporate job, right? And if you watched my YouTube story back in August, you also know that I was highly encouraged to do this. I did college, went to grad school, got a corporate job. But here's the thing. If I were to rewind and go back in time, I don't think I'd make that same decision anymore. That's because personally, my priorities have shifted from wanting just like a safe job with a regular income in corporate America to now wanting a little bit more freedom with my life, right? I once thought that a corporate job was the safe option, but here's the thing. Even if you work in a industry that seems pretty safe, like I worked in healthcare with physical therapy, it's not always safe. When you work in corporate, you risk the possibility of getting fired any day. And during COVID, even a lot of my physical therapist friends were furloughed, laid off, clinics were closing because for 2 years, people didn't want to go into the clinic for PT. They were doing it all online. And so even though you may feel like a corporate job is safe, I honestly feel like no corporate job is safe. Even if you're at the top of the ladder, the bottom of the ladder, one person's decision to fire you only takes a second and you could lose your job just like that. So my priorities personally have shifted from no longer just caring about wanting a safe job, and my viewpoint about what a safe job is has changed. And I've also shifted to also wanting a lot more freedom in my life. And that's something I didn't realize at the time when I was 18 years old, making that decision about what to do with my future, right? Can you relate? Now, as I sit here at the end of 2022, I really value freedom. I value freedom with my time, my location, and my finances, and I want to get paid my worth. And I simply couldn't get that in a corporate job. I tried, trust me, I tried. It didn't work like that. So anyways, my point of today is just to kind of get you thinking, raise some concerns and questions and debate about what sort of job is best for you and why. Because a lot of us get stuck in that trap of what we were raised to believe by our parents, feeling like we had to take a certain path or route in life, when honestly, maybe many of us just didn't realize that we had the option to do freelancing or build our own business, even as an 18, 20-year-old, very young with very little experience. There are more options out there than just corporate America. Keep your mind open is my point of today. Before we get into those pros and cons, I want to share with you some statistics about freelancing that I found kind of surprising. So get this, almost 59 million people in the US are currently freelancing. And that number is expected to keep growing to the point where in 5 years, they expect that there's going to be more freelancers than there are people working full-time corporate jobs. I know, shocking, right? And 44% of Americans have side hustles at the moment, which means that that is also going to continue growing. There's so many people around the world who are realizing that they can make a great income working for themselves as freelancers online, and a lot of them are turning those side hustles into full-time gigs, just as I did. So it's an option. Keep your mind open, and if you're someone who values that freedom with your time, location, and finances, and you don't really care so much about the safety net of a corporate job, if you feel it's truly safe, then I highly encourage you to keep freelancing open as an option because it's growing. It's a hugely growing market. There are millions of buyers or small businesses, large businesses going on to freelancing platforms to hire freelancers these days. For them, a lot of them have these smaller projects in which they don't want to have to pay someone an entire year's salary plus healthcare plus 401k and all those benefits. They'd rather just hire someone for these one-off projects. And they're realizing that you can get some really quality work done with freelancers online. So the freelancing market is only growing and it's only going up from here. So now let's get into the pros and cons of both corporate work and freelancing work, all right? When it comes to corporate work versus freelancing and working for yourself, I put together this little visual, and once again, this is just my opinion, all right? But here it is. Boom! The main thing you can see that corporate offers that freelancing does not offer is healthcare. And I've kind of grouped this together, whether that be medical, dental, vision, all the healthcare, all the 401k, all of those benefits are things that you're only going to get if you're full-time working corporate. Whereas freelancers, you don't get those things. You have to pay for them on your own separately, right? So personally, it works out fine for me. I'm just on my husband's healthcare plan, and then I save up each year for my own retirement. Works out easy peasy. But if you are single, then you've got to keep that in mind. If you want to be a freelancer full-time, you need to set aside money on a regular monthly basis to save up for those things because you're paying for it all on your own. Besides that first point on the list, I really truly feel like freelancing is the shiny, amazing looking option, right? If you look through this list briefly, you'll see that corporate, there's a lot of negatives to it, a lot of cons that are, in my opinion, things that I don't want to deal with anymore. Maybe that's because I'm in my mid-30s. I've dealt with it, been there, done that, over it, ready to move on, scale beyond that. But really, I feel like this list makes it very clear that with corporate work, at least for me, there are a lot of cons to it, and it's not worth it for me to just have those benefits of healthcare and 401k. I can save up for that on my own and do even better just on my own. The freelancing side looks really amazing to me. It feels good, it looks good, it's exciting, I can just, for me, that freelancing, these things make me happy. The ability to work from anywhere on my own time, have as much time off as I want, set my own schedule, not have to go to meetings that are dumb and waste time. I get to work by myself on my own terms, basically. So, this is my pros and cons list. Your list may look a little bit different. Personally, for me, freelancing checks most of my boxes for sure. So really corporate is, having to work when you're told, where you're told. Maybe you have to work certain shifts, be on call. You have a salary that's capped. Maybe you're getting raises. Maybe those raises have stopped lately. Maybe you don't have the opportunity to get bonuses and tips. You have a certain amount of PTO days you can use, and then that's it. You have to go to all these dumb meetings. There's a lot lot of things that are negatives to me, but maybe they're positives to you. I don't know. But ultimately, when it comes to corporate, you have a fixed income, and when it comes to freelancing, you have an unlimited, limitless income with unlimited days off that you can take. But just keep in mind, when you're taking days off, you're not getting paid. Whereas in corporate, when you're taking days off, there are PTO days and you're getting paid. So it's kind of this trade-off. How much freedom do you want and how much stability do you want? Corporate may provide you this safety net that you want, whereas corporate may feel more like a net with some large holes in it that you're just going to fall right through. That's how I feel. I think the most important takeaway from this video is, number one, just stay open-minded to the options that you have for work. And number two, make your own pros and cons list. Really sit down and think about, when you look at your future, not just 5 years from now, 10 years from now, but 20, 30 years from now, what sort of things are the most important to you? What are the top 3 most important things about a job for you? Is it location? Is it your time, your finances, time off? What is it? What matters most? And then compare your options between corporate and freelancing or starting your own small business of some sort. And when you're brainstorming and you're making out your own pros and cons list, really decide based not only on your mind, but also your soul. What feels right? What sort of job really lights you up and excites you is something you're truly passionate about. Because if you choose a job that you're passionate about, that's when you're truly going to thrive, because you're going to be so happy. It's going to be fun. You're going to enjoy it every single day. All right, the final little mini lesson I want to share today is, if you're someone who is really excited about freelancing, if this sounds like an awesome option, hits a lot of pros for you, a lot of those non-negotiables for you, then I highly recommend that you test the waters with freelancing first before you quit your corporate job. Building a freelancing side hustle will take a little bit of time and experience to get used to it and figure out what works for you, which platforms you're able to sell on the most. So start it as a side hustle first, and only once you have some consistent income from it and it's enough that you feel comfortable with making at a minimum, then take that risk to quit your job and fully pursue that full time and build it and scale it from there. I don't recommend that you just quit today and start with zero from the bottom up. Pursuing freelancing, start it as a side hustle and shift it into a part-time or a full-time thing later once it builds from there. There's going to be some time that you need to experiment and trial and error, figure out what works for you. Now, the second thing I recommend, in addition to just kind of taking that time to build it first, the second thing I recommend is that you not put all of your eggs in one basket, meaning you not just focus on building a freelancing gig on just one platform like Fiverr. Make sure you're trying to build on at least 2 platforms. When you put all of your eggs in one basket, it's a little bit more risky, because what if you do one thing wrong and you break a rule and then they shut down your entire gig and your freelancing opportunities there? Even if you've had hundreds of orders, lots of great reviews, you do one thing wrong against the rules, you can be shut down. So it's going to be much safer for you if you can build your freelancing business on more than one platform. There's Fiverr, there's Upwork, there's Freelancer, Revolancer, LinkedIn, all these different websites that you can go to get freelancing work. So start with one, but build to at least 2 or 3 so you have a little bit larger of a safety net. That way, if anything goes wrong with one of those freelancing platforms, you still have income from the others that is consistent. So let's go ahead and wrap up. I really appreciate you being here. Once again, let's have some discussion in the comments. What are your thoughts? What do you think of corporate? What do you think of freelancing? How did you start your work journey? Did you start in corporate and shift to independent? I want to hear about it. So comment below. In addition, I want to invite you to the waitlist for the Freelancer Academy. If freelancing sounds really freaking cool to you, but you just know you want some more guidance, it's confusing, maybe you tried putting a listing up and you didn't get any sales, I'm your girl. I've helped people by changing their gig, and the following day they got their first order. I know I have the experience and the knowledge on how to successfully sell on platforms like Fiverr.com, and I'm here to be your mentor and guide you on that freelancing journey to go from 0 sales as a beginner freelancer to successfully making sales. And the thing is, the Freelancer Academy, it's launching in 2023, and it's going to be launching at the lowest price I will ever offer it at, because it's the first round. This is like the beta round. These are going to be my my absolute favorite students ever, because you guys are going to be with me for the very first round of TFA. And so this is a really exclusive, once in a lifetime opportunity to be a part of this exclusive group. We're going to be building a membership from the ground up together. You guys are gonna be like the absolute originals, founding members of TFA. So it's super exciting. And if you are someone who wants some guidance for your freelancing business growth in 2023, then go here to join the waitlist, stephdoworth.com/waitlist today. If you're on that list, you're going to get first access, $500 off, as well as some additional bonuses that I'm only offering to people on the waitlist. You don't have to pay to commit yet. It's simply saying, hey, look at me, I'm interested, and I want to get to first dibs when you open the doors. That's it. I'm so excited to finally release my little TFA baby to the world. It's something that's been in my mind for several years to create. It's been a dream of mine to finally start creating it. I'm currently finishing up some of the lessons right now, and it's just been so fun to put everything I know into this incredible course. And then I'm going to give you guys weekly mentorship so you can talk things out with me. We can look at your gigs and your platform and really make everything as best possible so you can attract more buyers to your freelancing platform and make more sales. This thing is going to be epic, life-changing. I have a feeling that so many of you are going to come out of TFA with this brand new lease on life, feeling like, oh my God, I never thought it was possible for me to work by myself, but I'm really starting to feel like I can with this freelancing thing. It's taking off. I'm making thousands of dollars. This is easy. It's fun. I can do it from home when I want. This TFA is going to literally change lives. And it just blows my mind that I get to lead you guys on this freelancing journey. So I am really, really excited. I hope you guys are too. And I cannot wait to open those doors for you in 2023. All right, I'm going to leave you guys with that. Have a beautiful day. And as always, peace and love.